Hey everyone, we have a question from user Gabwins in the marketing subreddit talking about hospitality business KPI help. And so he says he's a marketing manager for 11 restaurants. All the stores are in the same region. They have 6 different brands. He's the manager and content producer for all of them. I have to create marketing campaigns for social media, offline, and contact radio and newspapers. I manage brand and content as well. I have a marketing director. However, he is the one that helps with strategy and mainly does posters. I know it sounds like a system that looks like it's going to collapse anytime, but can you guys help me with KPI templates that I can measure the marketing results for our restaurants? And he separates it out by brand. There's 6 different brands. One of them is at a mall in food courts. One of them is a standalone restaurant, casual, can do functions, middle income. Um, Brand 6 is an upmarket restaurant. And so they specialize in, they like to do a lot of bookings. They produce a lot of campaigns to keep Instagram and Facebook updated. They run ads and they run retargeting on Google and Facebook, which is fantastic. They do SEO. The trouble here is he writes, what should I put on a KPI and how should I organize it? Monthly, quarterly, yearly, by campaign? I need someone that can help me tidy up our marketing KPIs so we can improve our work. What I mean is I need to work smarter so I can work harder. So there's a couple things here. I mean, to directly answer your question, I think there's 2 KPIs that are critical for you. Number one, look at your receipts. If you run a campaign and the amount you take in monthly is increasing, and if you can account for seasonality, then you're doing well. As long as things are going up, that's fantastic. Separately, and there's some challenges there. I mean, there's a lot of variables. There's seasonality. There's location. It's a question of whether or not the campaign is actually working or not. What I would then fall back on is foot traffic. And foot traffic is sort of, you can do it kind of on Facebook. When we run these foot traffic campaigns, we use the Trade Desk and Simplify, and we use data from Factual. The challenge for you is that you don't have access to these. So unless you commit to spending tens of thousands of dollars a month or more, millions of dollars on these platforms. So if you want help with that, reach out to me and I'll be happy to help you with that, and we can sort of figure something out. I would be looking at foot traffic. And the idea on foot traffic is simple. Did someone see an ad? Did they then, or click on an ad, and did they then go to your location? And so then you can say, well, look, if the average value of a receipt is $100 and it costs you $5 to acquire that customer, then you know that you had a really strong positive return on ad spend, right? And so for the restaurants that we run campaigns for, that's what we do. We look at foot traffic. Do we drive someone in store? I would take a step back, and that answers your question. You can stop right there, right? But if I would take a step back, and I would rely on your marketing director, right? Your marketing director has a strategy for what to deploy. I think you have a really massive opportunity to become the gatekeeper for the communities that you serve, because when people eating in groups or with a partner is a way to form and nurture a relationship with someone or a group of people in a way that it reaffirms that relationship. And so the food you eat, the environment, the service, all is a backdrop to a way to nurture a relationship. And so you're part of the community. You're part of the experience of living there, going out, shopping, having a business or lunch meeting, or dinner meeting. Like you are the environment that people chose to engage with, right? And comfort themselves with and nourish themselves with. So I think you have a massive opportunity to become the gatekeepers for your community by being a media company, right? We live in an unprecedented age where your businesses, your brands can be the gatekeepers to all the news and excitement that's happening within each of their communities. And so I would look at your trade area. When you run ads, Or when customers come in, how far or close do they come in, right? Do they come in for 1 or 2 miles? Running a radius on Facebook and Google, you can run a 1 mile radius with ads on Facebook and a kilometer, 0.6 miles on Google. But with like simplifying the trade desk, you can run ads a 1/4 mile around an address, or you can conquest onto places where your competitors are. So like, for example, if you want to serve ads to people who go to competitive restaurants, you can conquest on top of those locations and then track when they walk into your location, which is super interesting and works really well for our clients. So identify your trade area, identify the locations that people go to when they're not going to your restaurant, when they're choosing to eat elsewhere. And I would be creating copious amounts of content that helps them understand and contextualize the city, the state, the story, the region. Help be part of the communities that you're serving. And then I would also be looking at influencers, right? Like identify people in your trade area, in your region, in your city that have some audiences, and invite them in and have them create content. And now take the best content and amplify it with paid media. And I would be doing that with thousands of pieces of content a quarter, not just 2, 10, or 5. Lots of food, lots of great photos. And then finally, when you look at your audience, one of your brands or 3 of your brands are in food courts in malls. And as I recall, when I was younger, I would spend a lot of times in malls. So I think that tells me your customers are probably a little younger, 15 to 22 maybe. And so it's really about identifying the platforms that you should be in. So that audience is on TikTok and Snapchat, right? So creating content for those places are critical. And I would be developing an ongoing, consistent testing strategy for the content that works, the platforms that work, and understanding what your customers want from you. Understanding, do they want time? Do they want value? Do they want premium? And by creating content and testing on advertising, you get to amplify the best content and you get a better sense of what your customers are doing. And I think that's going to result in an exponential increase in your receipts and in foot traffic. So that's what I would be doing.